become a part of it today. Say, what's here? Nah. Watch out, we a businessman, we a businesswoman, and obey a quenya Kessia partner by the amount. Say, obey, provoke. Finances. Now, you know, and he said, I don't pay big porter, my quenya strong. So we do see Cabeto. Now, I feel we see Cano a year, Jumana, and you need a day amount. I don't pay wood here, but your one casa. Oh, yeah, with 2 months. Pay porter, Darrow, fixed deposit investment. Yeah, what do you see Cabeto? What's maybe and some was means here, and I feel back. You are rest assured, say, pay porter the bed year, Juma, I'm an interest with Brenano, Abaso, Eddie amount. I don't pay Bora, pay port savings and loans branch BMO across the country. But it doesn't matter, say, when the account with Bayport, you will hear your Ghana card. Now, I feel waiting me a call that when the Bayport didn't come up. So they will sit down with you. Now, I think arrangement as I say, what money will year, negotiations as I say, money will year on the level of interest as I say, about sick and so. But your woman will be in it. That you may Abuama or sick and so any at the amount. And don't you pay only Bayport savings and loans and income across the country, over 50 branches nationwide. And obey me anyone more at the Comoy Free. But you open baby, who who much cry, I won't cry. Over Coco come live in ATTC school in Chayape. Now, when the Bayport in common free 5,000 Ghana cedis and above, you stand a chance of having a fixed deposit investment account with Bayport savings alone. The whole day, I don't pay. Only one more any income, one more energy will survive. From one pay on 0245 153283 0245 153283 and after 0263 007 922 0263 007 922. Now with the Bayport savings and loans sending from one pay. Now one more ebeje will see you. Imbus about Mr. For as your post needed drone on here. But I don't pay syphilis na Hawaii gonorrhea. Pressure was so stroke, waist pain, fatigue. Oh yeah, Jumaka Caribbean now what bread. The area malaria na HH1 no pay. Only a year Imbus about Mr. Indian Kobo, but on Sanka Wamundo. In a very simple effect, if they boost the immune system, no matter what they should come about Nippenia. After your body system is able to fight it. I open with system now you will be a car and the one last talk I get opposing in a drone. You must about Mr. Green and an open SSL Mawunsa a Kessben or Raheba shots pharmacy and the chemical shops are who do Nama Wonsa and Kessben. But I open the door where you are town, open the door where you are. For Imbus for on 0246 208496 0246 208496. Now when the Imbus taking come on and pay. Number one immune system booster on the Ghanaian market. One more Darrow and I'll pay one more Appiah. Why we have to party in Canopy? Good morning.
Mr. Speaker. The only speaker.
Around from watching and pay.
Mr. Speaker.
Around you can't help the speaker.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
But just send us now your test line on 05505679229 05505679229 and no any numbers I don't pay your dear on WhatsApp and I pay SMS. But what changing in no ebra you be jacking kind in the amount on this same network now and pay your Timmy any wedding come on. But there's a lot of tension between parents of a year senior high school student our Mwasi Resort Wayek for a withholding for a very long time. Now say yeah cause the National Union of Ghana Student Nooks at the Wamoho Ajisa and Komoimo last week we made mention and then we told you sir Oko Kumasi last week awofo ahodo pina no ekohie mo ewo eye Wayek for atena ye ewo Kumasi in the Ashanti regional capital. Now the concerns were that students no result no akemuache and up to date enya ade a wayek for eka bibia e dia student no any parent no entirely we are told sir wayek any student ni bi enya nkitahodie wo mo interview wo mo just to understand the kwanya e fa so more practices are a course so during the examination period nyina no etimi SCC yeah. But this morning as we speak Nooks is not so much happy about the development because many of the students will need their results to be able to apply to the respective tertiary institutions. And Amasa Nkobono Akwakoye Nsembebre will be going to WAEC and they will be speaking to them shortly. Na yeni Nooks Fonso Eddie and Komo na yebisa se Sankomo nyina no ehe ana eko akwakosi because say awofo no ani nye kra na it looks as if say challenges no ba na eba enti stay with us na anope yene wo any enkomo mpacho medical culture dada your numbers no 0550567929 0550567929 and no any numbers are yede juma anope enti wadwen training nyina no ebetimi aba and bra the Speaker of Ghana's Parliament, Right Honorable Aban Bagbin, rescinded his decision on the suspension of 4 members of Parliament earlier last week and a latter part of last week. Or they now we'll go into the Parliament of Ghana. Now Yetien Koba and Speaker Bagbin Edi, now after I mean the work of Parliament and some of the issues are SCC in time past. How do we regulate the people for such events not to occur again in that particular chamber? And no one come honoma and pay yebedi na and Parliament approve the president's nominees for respective ministries and over bare 5 ministers to 6 ana yeji wo munyina etumo ewo omaino emra shebedafie eno hon komo ewo ho. Many of them are taking their positions this morning ewo respective offices, but as well many are asking the questions dabe and a deputy ministerial appointment and also ebeba because seemingly say it looks as if say a bad ministerial appointment media appointment committee aye wo mo ho adwuma nyina ewie ama approvals ni nyina so etime aba. What is left deputy ministers one more call akwakoboa one more substantive ministers at the respective sectors of the economy na afi etimi aboa ma amamuo no and so etimi atoa so will come back and then have that conversation na anope yene wonyina no edi nkomo but ubetimi edi wadwen kire no edi aba 0550567929 0550567929 and no any numbers I don't pay mede juma on WhatsApp and a SMS console no so what the messages in the bar na ya can we are live on Facebook on Kessben 92.9 with a live stream and our face we are live on digital TV on Aseda TV and once again ma menda munyina no ase na mame Emma Kwambevi action once again Kwambevi Maakye
so Kwame
na free soko
me koe se o kasa me nkomra o de aso we no me ten kwanchen se madwuma ba wa na kai madwuma ba yes me be ba no yes me be ba na fere o mu nyina obia yes o de ha de dem so dem nyesa na mpe no yes na mpe no mo enkai bo kakra na wo ho enkai bo kakra na wo ho
ba yin nkomo
atiefo be kaya
yes
break kakra ni ana yinua ya de nyina Jeffrey Botwe enyame to nsafre no edi sei na abusua aye hyehye no
okay
ena mpese de to amanfo anim enhye ni abusua ne se nyame ya dom a efie de anim eye abusua ewom ne de to sonson ana ombi no
Jeffrey why as I say we treatment you for
say okay Jeffrey abrantia ne nyina wa adwuma mu ha head of camera
okay
yo ya adwuma na fitikumase eba akra ha ene ade one Kessben adwuma mfie bebre ana nyankopon eto nsa efre no eye November bosumi no mu na afie twa mu no afie na abusua aye na yie no ho hyehyeye bi nso ababeka yensa na sade abusua ese no no omu ede yawo ene areho ese obi bia yi se nyame ya adom a eye efiada edi yanimu yi abusua wo me de to so enso ana omu ebeyi no na fe yadeda no ama adofo abehwe na ni echi ne memne da bosumi a ewu ne de to so nwotwe ne memne da sada no na ya be ye na yie ana ya ba kopɛ ne korabre e wo wagya amusie ye ho na ba akosie no ye wi a na busua sa betena se e wo eye or the sign akoto lante Methodist Church asafo a e wo ho no e ho Wesley Methodist ho na bibia be koso fie ho a na bibia be koso ye wi e be sa ba betena se ho na fi yanom ne sikasa ne kwasi ada na yasa ba betena se e wo ho a ti se da busua aye hye ni ntom de awerho se omanfo se obi bia eduru ho a Kessben ade ato yani ye listeners muranem koboa yen na jafuja ma nsia e wachiri a nkola no so enkete pa ene oba kunafo a ye ja na chi oba Florence na da ko a one kunafo a chese jafuja na chi nti nkai bo no eno no nyame adom a ifie da ya nimu ana ye nua Jeff na no mre da ya sie no aye na yi anom sikasa kwasi ada na asa anom sikasa etwa to okura nti esre se duru ho ameboa yen
Bambefi owo sinsa mansan kom right obi abeko but nyame fa ne cry you see o kasa ni nyina mani akoto nanimo
yes obi a Jeff yes obi awu a ye kana chiri asempa na emum ono de ade a me de beka no de bia ye na ho brase Jeff yo bone a ana ye no bone cross me pa chewo eno ene ade a ye nyina de beka na me say sa na obi a so beka ntitiro ne asofo no omudi djuma amanfo no omudi djuma nyankopon won fa ne kransie eye
eba no kose mabusuan so yako ye ba ye nyina ye ho yako nyame adoma weekend will be there to support na yakoja ye nua na chi entibo amopa yasem no mabua ye especially your listeners and your viewers no omo ehwedwumadi we titio
okay
ya betra ha no ma se nkrofo wa chiro omo so ye adwuma no enti no omo na ama adwuma na chese ye ya ama adwuma enti no sadet obi adwuma bi a o ye wa ha bia ho
ehia
na ni nyina aboa we o tie chiri a wo chinchima ko Facebook they all regulatory cameras no ewo studio ha o tie say ti yenua no yinkai bono na yade atuti
enti e ma mensa mom bia ni biem eye asafo ache na Tew Road eye opposite Wesley Methodist Church Accra post office wode na e hwa ne wo na opposite hwa an ye no enti memne dade ache kura no nkron na yenyina ye wo ho edamwase
okay
na
Kwame, Mami Nasi, right? Na minkoye adwumai emra, but weekend will be there to support. Na afeye timi aboa. Medical culture that I said there is a lot of confusion between a year WAEC and parent of a year wards ya withholding one more exams results. Mamine Ura Daniel any enkomo ono ye national looks president na anope ye miss say what has been the engagement so far with the West African Examination Council. Danny Otemeka, good morning. That's saying.
Good morning, Minya. You know, I don't boko. Michelle and TFO so nyina.
TFO nyina so ejo so. First off, tell us as Nooks, no, what is your major concern about the happenings so between WAEC and parent of students yeah withholding your result for some time now?
Your major concern no, 3 or 4 fold. Now on the 29th, WAEC released the results and my research committee draw my attention to a few things. I'm the reports in the brain, and the concerns I had was with the large numbers of withheld results, and then the cancellation of entire results for isolated cases of malpractice. And so from where I stood, I felt I needed to engage WAEC. Okay. So on the 2nd of January, I withdraw letter, and I emailed it to WAEC to their effect. These are our concerns at the National Union of Ghana Students. After doing that, they reached out to me, and we had a meeting on the 10th. And I reiterated in Yama a letter, drawing their attention, said the number of withheld results on a dozen These were 319 schools.
319 schools.
Exactly.
Okay.
319 schools, and so we were concerned, and our Master Council 483 entire results of candidates, and I drew the attention first and foremost. For me, and at Nooks, we are not saying they shouldn't do their work. If people have colluded or copied or the rest, they are very right to investigate and do their work.
Okay.
But once you have released some of the results and some are going to school, there's a possibility that those whose results you have withheld may be innocent. So what if by the time you release the results, admission is over? So those were our concerns to them. And they gave me assurance, they will try and work reasonably fast, although the volumes are large and everything. So we had a cordial listening. And I made them understand, say, I'm not really interested in an acrimonious relationship and this and all over the place. You know, Nooks in the past have been known for always being all over the place and the rest. And I told them we are working and representing the interests of students. So they should just do their work so that we also do our work. And we ended the meeting in a cordial listening, that hoping they will do their work within reasonable time, so that students can go on with their lives. We received a written response from them on the 17th. This was even after I had followed back and everything, because I told them I wanted a written response for the record. And they wrote back to us on the 17th, letting us know they have released some of the results after the first round of vetting, and they are still on the second round and the rest. Now, it's been a whole month. Yesterday was the 4th, which means over 30 days since we started engaging them. And you are not seeing the head and tail of the thing. Parents keep calling me. Wards are calling. The parents are worried about the mental health of their children. Very psychologically disturbed and all of that. Until at the end of the day, we took a decision to conduct a full survey to see what is actually happening, because they have written to us that they are doing something. So, and we put out, I tasked the Legal and Student Affairs Committee of Nooks to start collecting complaints. Meaning, the phone was ringing off the hook. Calls from all over the country. People are calling, asking when are their results going to be released, and this and that. And it was too much. So after that, we met at the National Secretariat and we took a decision that yes, we have given Nooks close to over a month to do this work. We have given WAEC over a month. Now, where it has gotten to, we have to set an ultimatum. If you can't do the work, why did you go and take the work?
Yes, but Danny, first off, we need to clearly understand the level of work WAEC force omo eye. And upon having a personal engagement with them, what were the reasons?
They're talking about suspected collusion.
Yes, so suspected collusion, in which specific cases, say students, a copy, and now say
exactly. So I'm about to say students, results, are similar, and this and that and that. And I even do the attention, sir, but it's the same teacher who is teaching them. So if the students, they all look at the result, a particular case, and they assume, say, this is the answer, and they all work in that direction now. Why do you punish them for writing similar answers and this and that and that? But as senior colleagues, they were making technical arguments. They have been teachers for years, and they know how to detect these things and the rest. And like I told you, we were not interested in going into their technical issues.
Okay.
Ours was that release the results within reasonable time. And when you are cancelling results, also give the people an opportunity to be heard. We made that very clear. I don't know, sir, once copies of the correspondences are we wrote to them, they wrote back to us. We had them, and In there, we are detailed everything, including making sure that the students are heard and even putting in place an appeal process to be sure that you don't just be a law unto yourself, because you have enormous discretionary power. It won't mean, sorry, I can say, oh, chief invigilator about around or and your council results. It can't work that way. And we made all that clear to them. You see? Now look at the mess that has been created with all of this. Almost all the public universities have already closed admission. So if you release it today, what are they going to do with those results?
I see. But I mean, from the word go, no, they are not showing cooperation, Anna.
You see, for me, cooperation is not about you smiling with me and telling me, say, oh, yes, oh, this or that. Cooperation is that you said you do it, you have done it. Sanka, Yakushia Omui, Omuma Assurance itself, they will work at it and make sure that the results are released on time. You know? And Omuye Yanka will not be where we are today. But to somebody, it will be as though they have been cooperative with us, because when we wrote to them, they heard us, they invited us, they met with us. It was cordial. But it is not about the cordiality and everything. It's about the work being done. If you need more men to finish the work, get more men and finish the work. But you cannot put these young ones through what they are doing under the guise of investigation. That's what
somewhere last week, I mean, we were made to understand by YX, they are still in an engagement process with parents. And Oko Kumase, for instance, there was a lot of parents Omutropo in at the regional WAEC office Ewo Kumase somewhere last week. Now WAEC Maeti as yes parents by they started engaging the students just to listen to the student on site. Now I mean the rationale behind some of the things. Again, WAEC have said they went further to even engage the parents themselves, just for them to have a fair idea of why Omunkwala no ya withholding or more results. No, and I mean, are they not on the right track in making sure?
Not at all, senior. You see, antics we they don't wash anyway. The parents didn't come to sign any contract with WAEC to register to write exam. You invite wards to come with their parents to vet and see what is happening. When they come, you ambush them with a test. I don't know whether you heard what happened at the regional WAEC offices.
They ambush them with what?
With an exam. You see? And when we got there, you come, then you say, okay, it's as if person say one copy your test with the I mean, what is the basis of that? It happened in Takrade, it happened in Kumasi. You can talk to some of the parents who went. So the parents decided to boycott the whole process. I mean, you can't do that. If you don't have evidence on the particular exam the person has written, release the results. If you have evidence, cancel it. If you cancel it, you should know that the person has the right to sue. Because you are not a law unto yourself. You see, WAEC has operated for many years as an authority unto itself. What it says, the chief examiner can just walk into a center and see that 1 or 2 or 3 people are copying or something and just write a report, say, you can cancel the whole papers of the art center, and it will be done. And nobody challenges it. For many years, these have been how they have operated. It looks like that unfettered power has gone on. But you know that today, everything is challenged in court. And that is where they are having the challenges in understanding, say, every power that you have, which is the discretionary power, must be subject to the Constitution. You cannot do what you like. You see?
Very well. Very well. So, I mean, in this instance, what would be the next line of action by Nooks? I mean,
our next line of action is very clear. We have made it clear to them that they should release the results. We are hoping that we don't have to occupy their offices, but we will if we have to. As earlier this morning, myself and my executives, we have started planning And we are not going to wait until the 1 week comes. We have started planning on the mobilization. The tertiary students are ready. The protest we are going to do is not just going to be the affected students who are going to come. The tertiary students are also going to join because it's a union. And in a union, we solidarize with each other. The tertiary students and the nationwide, I'm getting my regional coordinators ready. We are going to mobilize all the tertiary schools across the country, the senior high schools, and we are going to protest in their various regional offices and the national office. And we are going to call for the removal of the head of Ghana office because the ACN, it lies with the backstops with the head. Because if you are sit down for all your officers to do this and you say nothing, then at the end of the day, you are going to face the brunt.
Very well. So that will be your next line of action. That
is it. Then we have given ourselves a 1 week ultimatum. So we have started mobilization.
A week from today, and from
yes, a week from today.
From today.
Yes.
Very well. I'm grateful for your time this morning, Danny. So much grateful.
Thank you.
Daniel Colley, Boche, national president for NUKS, speaking to us on the sidelines of the misunderstanding between WAEC and NUKS itself. Some students WAEC for a withholding or more result. Quite an unfortunate one. Last week, it was a chaotic situation. The regional WAEC office, Kumasi, Ashanti region. A lot of parents in the call na wamonte say about the situation. WAEC for a hoodie or money resort. They don't know. They do not know when the result will be released. In fact, they don't even know. I'd say be releasing results now and I see a tremu outright. I say Nkwalano ekoko. But we'll speak to WAEC shortly. Na yeniomo edin komoni a better understanding of what is really happening, and then the engagement thereafter with a yet NUKS then akwakobani say I say kase still nothing much has been done about situation for the say 52 after 7 Kessben 92.9 now share live on Aseda TV meeting Mr. Speaker. I'm highly grateful and pay for your time, but before that, Mamin Kai was my numbers, 0550567 929 0550567 929 and no any numbers are made a juma and pay and all the messages no ba you can kind in ano at the amount and check Babija for no ebetinasi Awa Muhammad of the New Patriotic Party will join us. Then TT Katino of the NDC will join us. Dr. Ramsey Nosa of Movement for Change as well will be joining us later for the big conversation. Na anope yene munyina no Eddie and Komo Abom. Now there is a move to organize a national forum on education by the president, just as he promised within the first 120 days. So be making sure economic forum ebekoso as we speak. There is a committee or more planning the economic forum. He gave us a promise. Same way the educational forum will have to happen. Na fi yetimia has educational system no structures are within our educational sector. No, will find very good and amicable solutions to it, and it will come and have those conversations. Plus, the many things that happen and may be circulating on social media. Quite an interesting one. Some George finding it easy cry. Proud to approve no Endra in the chamber. The CCC will come back to it. And finally, the speaker has lifted the suspension ban or they told the 4 members of parliament those and many more are the issues Anope will be touching on. Kessben 92.9. Mamin Kwahomane Somra na mene Clement Akulo any and Komo Parliamentary Network Africa. Clement, what to make good morning at saying?
Mpacho Yamiadom Yamoye.
And I trade the empire, I don't permit me that, and I'm a tone catch it. Is it where you mean, man?
Oh, sir, Mr. Speaker, I'll buy a Uji Wakunya idea. To see the young Conquan.
Is it the second term media young Conquan?
Young Conquan.
I see. But we be fine. Parliamentary network for more to say.
Parliament wanting to die.
But you are 10 years, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what is the next line of action? Then I'm over my end.
Our 10th year, no,
Juma Mukena. Say, only say, and Ghana Parliament in Kwane Juma. Yatrea Shemo, who call Sierra Leone Parliament, who call the Gambia Parliament, and the Kikawa. Your footprint, but this time, no, you perceive a tremo cover the whole African continent. Now, Juma, you Ghana, ne, West African countries, a tremo, the whole of Africa, still championing open parliament across this particular regions. Now, this whole year, no, we'll be celebrating our 10th anniversary, and there are a number of activities that are lined up to celebrate our 10th anniversary. Now, a beer besubiano, you better launching nothing. I say launch here. You better must want to celebrate Muzumude, Mahmoud Beteche, Namapushi Akoi Nimkaka.
Very well. We have volunteers, I will have Mamma. But a quick one now, Yenin Komo, the Speaker of Parliament on Friday, MK ruling now, or there are a lot of sanctions and a buy. I mean, for the incident that occurred on Thursday evening last week, issues a buy before the appointment committee, of which the Speaker wasn't so much happy. Upon the ruling and upon backlash from the minority and a section of Ghanaians, Andra. Speaker said, I mean, suspension banner or the 4 members, were withdrawn in parliamentary proceedings. Are these things done?
Yeah, that's a bit brave. I think the withdrawal of Mr. Speaker, the withdrawal of the suspension, was not exactly because of the backlash from the public, but it was as a result of appeal from the minority leadership and backed by the majority leader as well. I don't know, and you say it was a backlash. If there was any backlash, it was on the back of the minority rather. And we have had the occasion to lead the Ghana Parliamentary Monitoring Organizations Network, that is GPMON, to issue a release in support of Mr. Speaker's disciplinary measures. It's in about 16 civil society organizations at the Omusashesa Kratanasi, Speaker Abaso. It's, if there's any backlash, it was on the back of what rather happened on the day. We didn't get some solutions to it. Now, Mr. Speaker, I take it that decisive decision to discipline the members of the vetting committee who were found to be part of that chaotic scene. Now, that disciplinary measures, swift disciplinary measures, there is some other about the appointment committee, and at the Hubi and a Shrubi about and yes, the following day, similar thing would have happened, because even in the morning of Friday,
yes,
who said na ankanema bi because asutwi bia eniho na almost say, I mean, there's no leadership, there's nothing, betini aye de omope your boss speaker na basupa na no so appeal no ebeto ni nim as a father you did join to a show the entire you took the trip and I said the entire offered those disciplinary measures and he said he wanted the citizenry to know that these are things that we abhor, these are things that are not normal. Some measures would have to be taken at that point in time to assure the public, say, we a standard. So that message went down very, very, very well. Now, I think what he wanted to achieve had been achieved. The people have been remorseful, because not before the minority for that apology and appeal yesterday. We have been on record to have said, say, it appears the minority and those who were involved have not shown any remorse to say, Adia omoye enya dia ese efata. It is grievances big. First of all, you apologize for what has been done because honorable members do not behave that way. You apologize for it and say it is not going to happen again. It was a mistake or something like that. But we have some grievances. Nanka ya twaso but no tinisi to say their course no ankoni ama afenyo Maakye ankasa has assured everybody, the public and the speaker say sadie no NCBM. Now they will have other measures or they will use reasonable measures to vent out, and that was positive for us. I think a very, very positive outcome yesterday. Now it was also good, say, as a leader, no, or share no, would be equally say the econo and kuni. Now it was bringing a very bad name to the Parliament of Ghana. Parliament of Ghana, AGD, a say a ban of democracy, any parliamentary democracy there, moya there. Now say at the time we were even doing our inauguration.
Yes.
Look at the number of presidents around Africa who came to support us. It's a need dear Amademaya who say, "Ye kuyenim ewo sa kabima minkebu amamuyimu." Now all of a sudden we will be destroying our fabric with this kind of behavior. Nanka enya dia echaye. It yen dia ye feel say ne kwanso anno omo de janto aba. They have been remorseful. Omo nu omo ho and omo de janto aba. And as speaker or opinion or parliament no agiatum. Ye fa no sa nanso no committee na yate say omunye omujuma. That committee must work. All the terms and references that were given to the committee, it must work. Yekacha almost say they should watch the video. They should go back and investigate and identify all the people who were involved in that particular chaotic scene. Now, say edema will be a situation. Edema will be a say edema. And I can say, civil society organization.
That is where the challenges are because I mean, what's a committee? Say woman come back and play footages and should you see now I feel woman professor. I mean recommendations and based on their findings, they'll be able to proceed. Now, why do you go ahead and profess sanctions against the same people or few people who might have been part of incident at a CEA even before the coming into force of a committee in Ejuma or Mokwakoye? Now, is it not being predetermining what has actually occurred? Obeka say, yes, we have video footages, but as I say, money panel so fair hearing. Is this whole thing not dead on arrival? Because what punishing the panel? A koya chopani adeba mu wasan withdraw punishment, So now the question is that committee in the report in the bar, what becomes of it and what happens afterwards?
Okay. Before say the measures that were taken by Mr. Speaker are in its place. Just that the communication at the same time. Sanka just had there and can be sure say you better the principle of what he did, as yet. Because first of all, there are two things that he did. First, to reprimand people who were supposed to be at leadership position. Mm-hmm. People who were supposed to be in charge of the disciplinary measures in Parliament and as a committee especially. And then secondly, to now go into the investigation of what went on to reprimand or discipline the people who were involved in that event. So the first one, Anka no bar separately, and Sana Oka say, okay, I have done this. Then now to satisfy almost say Niama to surcharge those people and to make sure say those things do not happen again. No, Nanka Wama the second referral to the committee, but because the communication only now also on that same day in that same hour, it is a bit confusing. Now let's come to the first one. We share the appointment committee makeup, about 11 members, about 5 of them, almost a little, about half of them, leadership people, more leadership. So you talk about the majority, the first deputy speaker. You talk about the minority leader. You talk about deputy majority leader. You talk about the whip, that is the chief whip. That is the majority chief whip, minority chief whip, and even some very high-ranking members of the parliamentary system. So about discipline in parliament, it rests on the shoulders of the whips. Wow. So for the whips to be found to be part of what was going on, it means that you are shaking your responsibility. Now, say the leader most of the time, or more leaders, they are the people who are supposed to bear responsibility. If you know here, he took responsibility for what happened because he is the ultimate leader for his side. If he sanctioned these people, and then now I'm for say, why did he sanction this for and left the other people? So the majority chief whip, minority chief whip, second deputy minority whip, and then Hassan Tampuli, who is a former minister. Once you have been a former minister before, you are at the higher echelon of the society of the country, because you are experiencing that kind of high, or you have earned that high profile in the country. But you can't debase yourself, you can't debase the parliament that you are serving and all that. So these are leadership people. He thought, say, the axe must come on them first of all, because he is the first person I reprimand. And Sana, Mako, even I start asking questions, and Sana Mako down to the people. I think that was the message that was sent for the first people. Now the committee had a task to now investigate the cause, the chaotic scene, what happened, so now you are giving hearing to those people. Say, more you say, anything, and all those kind of things. And then Yamana said, because they are going to be surcharged, they need to take inventory and make sure that everything is captured. Then a recommendation will be given to Parliament, to Mr. Speaker, because every committee of Parliament is at the behest of the Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker's committee, it is almost the man advice. Say, then a decision will be taken on them. And I don't say ad hoc committee, those committees, including the privileges committees, they're informal. Someone will say, I don't think I want farmer privileges committee. Only 3 committees have been formed. The selection committee, appointment committee, and business committee. International committees we are informal. Now, before our communication, order 5 of the standing orders, which gives them the power to be able to interpret the standing orders. Now, taking some measures which have not been explicitly stated in the standing orders. Order 5, Emanisa Akunyano, Emaniesa,
Very well. I'm grateful for your knowledge shared. Maybe any other said in combo. And Oracle is with the Parliamentary Network Africa, speaking to us and bringing us to exactly 11 after 8 and this is Kessben.
Nancy Munom Fue Mitro Kakamio, Minro Kakamio Kakamian Poka, Wasia Nancio.
I'm sure now as 11 after 8. This is Kessben. Mami fasted and be a Nax Scientific Herbal and Research Clinic. And I'll pay UTME and Pacho Nax for other romantic. Oscansa who do in one more Ebebuao. Ama waiting me a year. Ope a year ultra modern laboratory department scans ahodwa one more a year honing in no pacho anope baby SSL de when channel a Nax Scientific Herbal and Research Clinic. One more anebebua ma onso diagnosis be SSL one more a year at the mouth na afi one more treatment one more the morning in no one more bet me a year at the amount the mouth conditions are a bebani in no pacho Nax Herbal for ewo akwenya ewo nura hodo a wo mo betimi e de treat based on their scientific research bacho eyade a wo mo ewo mfidie bebre a wo mo e de eye adwuma pa afi eba no ultrasound scans the tissue electrocardiogram no ECG no the yetwa scan no ne yahwe wakoma ne ho ne yahwe problems ewo ho ni nyina no mpacho eyade a Nax Herbal and Scientific Research for edimu akotini ye pa na wo mo ho nso modin ye anope se wutie me na wo pese wo ye ECG scan no ebia anope baby asese odi wani che no eye Nax Scientific Herbal for asoye wo mo nko ana ebeje na afi wo mo aye ni nyina no ede ama wo mo bo ewo form enti anope ko na oni omo nkodin sa wo so afi eba no physiotherapy womo ewo center so ewo honoma womo wall equipped machines ebetimi aboa ma the essentials of therapy esese wo ye nyina no wonsa etimi aka rehabilitation machines ahodo ni nyina no womo ewo bi ewo ho afei wo pese dietitian services ana wo pese yo bi ede to diet so na afi wo body system no or regulate wo nuane ahodo a obedi na wo moboa ma hoden sonko eba ma wo healing process no eye ntempa dia anopay Nax Scientific and Research Clinic ana SSS odi wani etimi ekre ebeboa wo ye pa na mem kan se eba no bone diseases nso a Nax edimu akotini ye enti anopay wutiemi a bacho ko na woni wo mo enkodi enkomo omo numbers no eye 0244 120 269 0244 120 269 Ubankran ya womo was Pinterest Road behind a Rainbow IT and afe electronics building no Taifa udru a Spinters and so I'll be who behind the Rainbow IT building no enti anope ko na oni omunkodi nkomo kumase womo ahema kokobe anope Nax for other Roma ana womo ene ye ejuma ebo mamenko na mene me ofa enkodi nkomo mra Ora Jonathan Asante Oche, a political analyst and then a senior lecturer with the political science department, University of Cape Coast. Na adope meneno ending komo. Over Maakye. Na important to say. Yes, me too. Over. Bibi Aboko.
Political analyst, not with the political science department.
Okay, all right. But that's it. Well, correct me on that. Now, Bibi Aboko there. And I tell you, passes so the young consul now, I don't pay first of Mamenye earlier impression on President Mahama Memu so far. And Dra was exactly 1 month. I didn't see a konyaso. And we initial impressions on what he has done so far in office Oh,
I mean, somewhere last week, I'm saying in either on TV or on radio, and I'm a cast said I am expecting Global Info Analytics on polling about the approval rating of the president and as to whether the country is going in the right direction or not. Now, just about is it second or third of this month, and I'm reports about. And minimum, I gave the president about 80%. And Ghana for the donor Amupoli and 84% approval rate, and 80 and 84 the University of Cape Coast and then 68% say the country is going in the right direction, as opposed to about 22% or so when President Akufo-Addo was in power. And so not only me, but Ghanaians in general, according to Global Info Analytics, Amupoli Nabano, the country is in the right direction, and that the approval rating of the president is 84%. I gave him 80.
Now, interesting. What it means is that Ghanaians are most satisfied so far with the SEC, right?
Yes. Osha and Kofo as ministers of state, and more power, more as CEOs. I think so far, especially those who are in the public limelight, ministers like the finance minister, which I predicted he did that. The minister for agric, I predicted he did that. Energy, it was so obvious. As for Attorney General, I didn't talk about it. The moment I elevate Oba Penny, is it Henrietta Brew or something like that? So
Marietta, yes.
Yes, to be a presidential staffer or advisor or something of that sort, legal advisor to the president. Then I felt that definitely the Attorney General
Kessben.
Ministry, and then Dr. Ine with the experience of 30 years at the bar, the accolades also bar, and he's handled big international cases as well. So you could see that it was the right choice to take that place. The Meme Kakana Meshusha Kamuna said there should be some wild cards because I had to say, Omo year we know that for no, because obviously they were in the fray, in opposition. They were in the fray, and therefore they deserve those positions that they've been given. At first, an education minister, Haruna, I thought the president was going to give the ministry to Professor K. Udru.
Okay.
And he gave to Haruna. Now, when he gave to Haruna, I had my own reservation, but I sat down and realized why he chose Haruna. Because education is very complex and complicated. Yes, very complex. So, in as much as you need someone with technical know-how in that area, you also need someone who is very versatile. And when it comes to versatility, you cannot beat Haruna. You cannot beat Haruna Idris. I mean, it's just so versatile because he was able to handle trade and industry. He handled, labor, employment and labor relations. He handled communication also. So that it means you are talking about someone who is really versatile. And maybe he's going to add someone with technical know-how as his deputy. But you could see asking the right questions in terms of the real beneficiaries of the free teachers, looking whether to enhance the loan training colleges and probably look at the allowance, which one is more effective, which one is more efficient. And then there is this education dialogue which the president had already promised to look into, education and have thorough review of the various, sectors of education, from primary to pre-tertiary and then probably tertiary as well. And then an appearance who said the minister is asking them to also consider a sustainable source of funding for the free researchers. I think that if we want to keep free SHS as a nation, sustainable funding is very, very important. Very, very important. So that Yama come and ning quality senior for the past 7.5 years or 8 years of implementation of the free SHS. I mean, parents were not able to talk. Masters were unable to talk. They only spoke through us. And today there is that free, fresh, ideas that will help.
Hello.
Doctor. So, therefore, you need to, yes. And then there are been a protocol of me one so protocol medicine. Medicine is that's an open protocol number because mean to me choir Nippon capacity of no in my when it comes to those issues.
What's your name, Car?
Speaker.
Yes, very well. But that will lie in more break. A quick one. I mean, the president promised few things within the first 120 days. Okase obeteki steps in ensuring an economic forum at the national level has been organized to ensure the position of Ghana's economy. He said again the same thing for the educational sector. As we speak, there are committees we're putting in place to ensure you better organize a national education forum just to reconsider the educational structure of our country from the kindergarten level, Ekwakosi tertiary. Then there is also the formation of the Constitutional Review Committee. Enyema Womwaye again, Oba a year PMMC, NF Ministry of Finance. They've also come together with a committee for the establishment of the Ghana Cocoa Board. And putting all of this together, are Ghanaians supposed to have some level of hope going forward, Anna? Hello? So unfortunate. Over lines, end to me, so the network is not really helping. 23 minutes after 8, I have Kessben 92.9. Pacho, your numbers, 0550-567-929. And no any lines, yede a jumba. This one says that, good morning, Mr. Speaker. Please, I pray God protect you for us. Good morning to you and your team. And thanks for the good work you are doing for Mother Ghana. Thank you. One for Woody I'm Ghana Edway free Kwafo new Mairana Ede Eba or say MPs are fighting, police are fighting, now footballers are also fighting. Hey, I'm Ghana, what a country we live in. Thank you for a message. This one says that, good morning, Speaker. Indeed, you and your team are doing a great job for Mother Ghana. God bless you. Haruna, you sent in that one. Thank you for a message. This one says that, good morning, Speaker. Okay, thank you. Mean to me and kind way. Kobe sends this one. I was a good morning, Speaker. The Speaker should have been bold enough to keep the sanctions on the 4 MPs. Indeed, that is what Ghanaians expected him to do. What he has done is just a reversal, and it will just brew impunity within the parliamentarians. They should have suffered the punishment that was professed to them. Thank you. Kofi Rich sensing that one from Edwin. So we come to 25 minutes after 8. Go for important. I said, I'm watching. Fine.
Kwame.
Yes. Yes.
Kwame generated debate. Benin pass the reason why NDC 4% a cancel allowance. Kwame, Ghana 4 should bear with them. It will be a political suicide, like I said yesterday, that Muhammad should have promised, say, Beba, I'll maintain their allowance. You understand? Because he did not restore it. But say Obe maintain, he should have said it. Cry. But say or it back in the West, let's say Kwame Okasi will be Ghanaians should bear with him. Because Udimari Kuntia, me assure pass the reason why the National Democratic Congress, led by President Mahama, had decided to cancel this Alawano. They realized how the government, the past government, struggled to pay the allowance. And they know perfectly well, say, I'm sure a Bambia Nuhonwa, and that's a new patriotic party. In their next campaign, they wouldn't promise to restore it.
Yes, Mitchell was here, but Jinasoma Menamia Jumay Emra, Mamene, the latest acting CEO in town, lawyer Eduji Tabakulo, Enin Komo Emra. Council Maakye, congratulations.
Mr. Speaker, and of Prime Chawo, with you for the actual phone in answer, and then Wabua for more studio on so.
Wabua for the material for the answer, Edjo. So now, Bibi Abo Cordia, NPA Treaty was saying.
What the other Roma is barely a week in the hot seat.
Very well. You take time was settle. Was settle about best round. Why? Now be I can. But
any opportunities are more my opposition politics. Make I say my last media engagement or encounter was with your platform.
Kessben.
Na sadani in combo memory. We are determined say in some na me do combo memory opposition. Yedini na bebe.
okay.
Your social contract your Ghana for no. We have and then the answer.
Very well. But quick one, is the party and the government on course for especially the first promises are more than within 120 days and Yemani be a moka as a accomplish, you know. I mean, so far, what can you say? Is the NDC as a government and a party, you know, on course to delivering what you promised the Ghanaian people?
Once again, Sebi will be a or short bomb. Or yet determined, say, obey this abortion or so. On all the timeline, editor so. Sebi, and then we know Eddie and Como. Now, make us you, Mr. Speaker, Echna, not Echna, and yet Archie. Echna, and no. It is a Cobasso say, yeah, campaign. Near declare Ghana force within 120 days upon assumption of office. That's barely 4 months. It means we are determined because your 120 days requires mathematical precision. So it doesn't lie in your mouth to say 120 means 100. First, to demonstrate that commitment. Oman Penny Boshe said, obey you see only 60 ministers. Now, the conversation that came up, a bit so, 60 ministers should not include regional ministers.
Yes.
Obviously, we Oman Penny said, minister is minister. Once I watch about, say, 60 ministers, and 60 ministers. Plus, including everything, 60 ministers.
Yes, I do.
That's, 45 of them have gone through parliamentary vetting, leaving a few more to go. That alone should tell you. Okay, so within 14 days, of making sure the cabinet is in place, I can report confidently, say, we are on course to achieving that. Two, or can say, 120 days, or best set up a committee to advise the government on the way forward, particularly on pre-secondary education. I can say confidently, sir, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, as Minister of Education, has already sworn in the committee, and very soon to start their work. Professor George Odro Eda and no other. But say Ghana economy, it requires the FN of inclusiveness.
Yes.
Seven. Umpe Ampinia obey no finance. On one they give. Okay, and also knowledge is vast. Yankopon amfa biasmu nyansa nyina amfa baba akuchi nti MP no woyɛ de friend fertilization wo kai say mra na ye go school here baby pollination exactly and your money be you say adia dokotoko ya friend honey nyoma be the womb in the money here, yes, and yes, exactly. Now, save you, yeah, Papanum, Yananum, our can Kessben, almost say, you just son, and maybe no, Mrs. Sana, I a day, actually, and you know, I can't memo, Yananum, at the star of the Bono, at the afterwards, you who say, save you. And then it's about and I am coupon the glass in answer at the man. It's in the answer table. Mr. Speaker, about the Kanaki. Obiso Becassi, Mr. Speaker, Kano, Mena no Yaki, and Waso, because of this superior view. At the end of the day, we have built a consensus. We are sure the way forward for secondary education is this. Of this. John Dramani Mahama has said, "Yeah, Obeka 2 years in chess. It has come to stay." On the core issues of governance, said you can say, a idea as we speak, Attorney General of the Republic, and so to an among Union Sabi, including but not limited to the fact that Obiti said Johnson Esiama, the newly appointed governor.
Yes.
Of the Bank of Ghana. And let me place on record, we share the constitutional provision burden on the appointment of the governor. It only says that the president, in consultation with, what I say,
yes.
One can say the president with the prior approval, because who said a idea the senior, nothing your marking, the article be abetuga, and a letter to command any about Mr. Esiamo. The constitutional provision under reference does not talk about prior approval. Into OSHA carefully, the constitutional provision on appointment of minister uses the word approval. Approve. The constitutional provision involving on appointment of justices of the Superior Court uses the word approval. The Supreme Court in the seminal case of G.H. Mensah and Attorney General was quite clear. Say, the use of the word prior approval is not a term of art.
Okay.
It does not connote any technical meaning except to say prior approval. And prior approval simply means you require the approval of B before the action can take effect. So that is distinguishable. In the case of the governor, it doesn't use the approval of the Council of State. If in the superior wisdom of the, and you see constitutional text, you are a student of the law, just as I am. Constitutional texts are read as a whole.
Exactly.
And in order to ensure internal consistency, the famous uses impulsions approval and impulsions consultation. That's what I say.
Yes, I do.
And the two are not the same. The two are not the same. So, Malene Senior, with the greatest respect, should not be misreading the provisions. Because in the letter that he wrote, he gave an example using justices of the Superior Court. What he failed to say is that for the justices, the Constitution uses the word approval of Parliament. But what I say,
yes,
and that is why when the president is done with everything, the justices of the Supreme Court must go back. What I say, they must go back to Parliament for that trial approval process, without which no validity is conferred on them. That is fundamentally different from the issue on appointment of governor.
So in this instance, the president has not erred in terms of law.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In fact, the president, having been soundly advised legally, proceeded to do that particular appointment.
Okay.
But what I say?
Yes, I do.
In fact, OSHA President Anadu Dankwa Akufo-Addo, in appointing Natushi as the administrator of the District Assembly Command Fund, he did the approval of Natushi much before the consultation process. And you see, consultative is not binding. And there's significant legal text to that effect. But what I say?
Yes.
In fact, OSHA, the case of Ghana Bar Association versus the Attorney General, when President John Dramani Mahama appointed Justices Waman and Justices Yao Apao, the Ghana Bar Association proceeded to the Supreme Court to say that the Judicial Council, and that one is upon the advice, the Judicial Council has recommended 4 justices and ranked them. When the ranking got to the president, who has the power to appoint, what the president did was to pick not in order of the ranking made by. So for instance, the Ghana Bar Association did the ranking 1, 2, 3, 4. So the president chose from number 4 up. You get the point I'm making?
Yes, I do.
And they say, no, once we have ranked them 1, 2, 3, you can only go by that ranking. The Supreme Court rejected the position and said it is an advice. If the recommendation becomes binding, then the one doing the appointment is no longer the president, but the person who is advising. Do you get my point?
Yes, I do.
Because if you do the ranking and say it is mandatory and that it is binding on the president, what effectively you have done is to say that the person who did the ranking is the one doing the appointment. It takes the power of appointment from the president into the one doing the advice. And the Supreme Court authoritatively rejected that proposition. Much the same with this scenario. So clearly, the Honorable Alexander Afinyomake Malene Senior has completely gooped on this one, but it's permissible in law for you to err.
To err, very well. I mean, if you are to mark your own scripture, I mean, in the last 1 month of assuming office, how much will you mark yourself? Not your fancy.
What I don't usually like with marking is that when you are marking, then you want to have a situation where there are a scoring mechanism.
Okay.
And you see, what the president is doing is a product of the mandate. What the people went to the election and, as it were, cast their vote and gave him a 1.7 million vote difference. So usually I prefer that the one doing the score, the one doing the marking, should be the good people of Ghana.
Very well.
You understand? So that, like we say, Nemo Judas in Casa Swa. I do not want to be accused, I'm part of government now, of judging myself and behaving in the manner that, what shall I say, leaders like Bokassa were accused of. I will leave that one to the sound judgment of the people of Ghana.
Very well. Council, Anope, I'm highly grateful for your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, too. And that is lawyer Eduji Tamaklo, acting chief executive for the National Petroleum Authority, speaking to us, bringing us to exactly 41 after 8. Now, Awa Muhammad Atunase on the ticket of the New Patriotic Party. Titi Kachino is a member of the NDC in an African Ponziga Atunase. He had in Komodia Hodoni in Ano. Bro, but how will you rank President Mahamad's performance under 1 month in office, and then within the first 120 days there's a lot he promised and we'll come back to it now. Yatimia has said Yatimia achieved it so far, just making the track of it. Mamema awala chen na memano akwaba awawaji na empom to say
nyame adom na wo se
erade de enkwache
ene de montimi anka acknowledge say me ba ha
oh na afi ne de agroba fi ozo bo fi awade na esa and they will be drew her no more 820 and I'll be drew her pepe
esoro ha no
there be esoro I say what say now who say what be dem who say what ba now I only count say one ba because what for soro ha
it already about
and then ona di kan
say your opposition definitely I was say nya kwan na ye bantem na yetimi
yes there awa but we are fine party
mo boy joma party mo boko ye guso a ye un said the committee na ya set up say homo hwehwe de ya lusu ye no eguso a mo ye adwuma no nti ye twen say omo time no beso ye ma omo 3 months say omo nye adwuma no within the 3 months omo be report to the Akoma National Council na National Council I take a decision on me ware shemu say ohwe and some na koni proposals and crofo brede ba no we may have to go for a constitutional review na ya review your constitution no na ye de normal bia hihyehyem asan say BTA lawyer Justin Kodia Frimpong.
Okay.
I align with the Okai and Pepe say expand it your basin, especially electoral college, expand it. Na say Obi a why polling station executive our constituency na also to abani. Why da? Why polling station executive ye to abanu ye yine free so but wa serve wa some party no nti ono no so constituency ono still ye party adwuma no da so MPP mu kwa da o say ye to abai o to be obi a former MP our constituency also to be obi a former DC o say are who say Manchia South so mu ye bibi no Manchia North even South and then minu kase ye party ne say na ejina say omu ye elections e o Manchia South na puntimi to abani bi ye ediafa regional executive sa onto abani bi ye ko national kra na ye flag bearer kra onto abani bi. It's disheartening. At least a former MP, former DC, former police station executive, former constituency executive, former regional executive. Omunyina no you are expanded now. Omunyina and to be, even though you're over 200,000 people voted, but at the constituency level, we said nipa be 1,002 pe. And eto. It's nipa 1,002 na ebeti ma maintain sa 200,000 na 555 no. But at the constituency level, okoba bi tsa so asia nipa be 1,200 and eto. Inte no former police station executive beka ho, former constituency executive beka ho, former DC, former flag bearers in we your friends appointees who free sa constituencies no eka ho a we say expand we kwa na be 3,000 people no more to aba. Inte no ma obi mbegina ho nka say ye beto aba no asumasi a wo no kra no oye police station executive keke no ye adwuma chen no na so obi ba ye no omaniska obi ba no omanisei oba efie ho kra no ono na obehwehwe no an behwehwe yen essence won se ono na beba beto aba no it me feel say we no free general secretary or me kra say last 2 weeks me baka no ha say former executives am we regional constituency executives say ma omonto but me say general secretary so di na no tum me hu say emodru eno no ebe trigger a constitutional review or say ko review your constitution no say na eye 1-1 Hansen Committee in 2008, I can say, yeah, expanded 955, yeah, for coordinators and Kahono. I acquire yes, our constitutional review. No, I expect to say winning so after that, a best our constitutional review. No, maybe a shame. Normal be bring microphone so I can be a sure sending in a back home, not a review, now, not to me a boy, and not your grassroots now, Mubufu, you know. Obi abi who said they are all involved on bit my ejuma.
But I say, Mame Emra a year TT so never. Nana
30 seconds. Mr. Steph Facheme. Our Mr. Moon. New Patriotic Party. It mupa mu free say. Mu set up a committee near the report bar and the Bama NPP win election.
A part of the rebuilding process.
It shouldn't be part of rebuilding process.
It
wouldn't ignore to anything. Let me tell you something. Kwame, what lose election 2208? You set up a committee, you lost 2012. What set it up? President Mahama, NDC set up a committee in 2016. After Kwesi report. Did they win 2020? NPP upon winning the 2020 election. They set up a committee. Say they did not win how it ought to be. So they set up a committee to find out a normal ABC. Were they able to win 2024? And even the committee, a normal did the proposals of FNSA, amendment of committee, FNSA constitution. It's an annual delegate conference. That's why you have to go. Let me tell you something. SAR committee report, about the bar, there are some people who are to be edited to suit their political career. It is happening.
Nana.
Meba
2020 no anka ye implementing normal that
is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Because a part of the rebuilding.
That's what I'm saying, that political parties should go beyond committee to find out what open forum today. That is what is happening. Because Kwame uko ayawaso Ayawa so central. Okay, good. Somebody is peeved. Today is going to work. Or Kantamanto. Committee for Abahefa no Mukosia. We then go to the ward meeting. If I was not able to come to the ward meeting for the committee to meet me, what will be the next step? Do an open forum. Man confirm the card how
it's part of the things I can't say
finish.
A part of the things
part of what?
That's what they are doing.
The party committee report in the bar. They edit the committee report. Obiti party office. Ebi ano opera election. Adia ne bar. Omo pese committee report no Kwame. Adia a person here. Obiti me edit to suit their political career. What I'm saying is do the open forum. Forget about the committee. You know why LPP
the committee is moving around every constituency, meeting people.
Didn't they do the same thing 2008? Didn't they do the same thing
2008?
And didn't they
do
the same 2020?
Did the reformer and yetimi really 2012 elections?
You want 2012 elections?
One should they see what court?
My goodness.
It was 5-4.
You formed the same thing.
Four of the judges can say we need.
You formed the same thing. You formed the same thing in 2020. Were you able to win the 2020 election? Kwame, you formed the same thing 2020. Were you able to win the 2024 election? You are not able to win it. Kwame, do the open forum. Tell you, do open forum. Your open forum constituency be a microphone and conform the casa. You understand? Start compiling reports. A honor, the old casa and conform per se. You be electoral college no Kwame Ebeba. A honor, who say party executives, youth organizers, almost compared to Mwamu call for the Jew Missika and Sana. I'm with your mom. Daddy. I want to say, John Boy do initiative ideas be almost say communicated to say, wow, man to be among 5,000 Ghana cedis. So now one saka, Yabahu, now one saka, Yabahu. Party, your father say, Chairman, now Sikan Babedu Omohono. Says Sikanaway, almost almost saka, be Dinkomo. I said it on my program. And they started calling me, say, no, but na 1,000 Ghana cedis. The American watch I say, if 2,000 Ghana cedis, do the open forum. They will come and mention names. There are a lot of things. A man pair. Your friend say, a parliamentary year, or my bomb must from Habesi or my bomb with him. Kwame, a stage so platform so my campaign. And comfort say, a new swadi SM, or didn't have a daddy. Now, when they got trust, I do a report.
All right,
Kwame, do open forum. Do open forum. My constituency for them na mekasa.
Ombekasa.
I'm going to imagine.
Mr. Speaker, good morning.
Good morning. I'm Pomoe.
Nyamiadumu obodi de ache nti. Yesu yenya no anapay say yesu betimi akasa.
Ahode wo.
Nyamiadum, ahode wo.
E da twedi ampo ase. Aban mo kosen, party mo kosen.
Oh, boko say say I dey to haka say ye be within 120 days no no na Jomahama hwe say obe implementing nyina. Say obi nya GD kakra wo mu a na ode ne shawo sa bosha wo share no obe make sure say obe di so when timi ndini nyina so kra na obe di substantial amount so amane hu say unya akonya na obe yiri nyina nti ye de believe say niama akoso already no kire say it is possible say ye betimi amake ye 120 days no promises I man na ye be di so amagana for any achi because obi peke ade ba ko mienu pe e 100 days de ebe enimu enu ntu no to my nti ye be try say niama ni nyina no ye be ye ama Ghana for any aso.
Now we are told say party for no be na happy with the level of appointment. We are even told say Ochina there is a crucial neck meeting in November so mo headquarters. And something that be
Speaker ye nyina ye call
as a baby appointment e ko ye nkrofo suli as those who are expecting it are not getting it.
Yeah campaign no ye nyina ye kai say Jomahama si obeye 60 ministers. Ye nyina ye jitu mboa.
Yes.
Yeah, because ye nyina ye believe say ebeboa ama e reduce stress war public person so. Na afi ye wie na nipa ni yi nkrofo na ebi beka nkrofo bi eninje. Challenge I may want to say he can promise and appoint everybody. Na obetimi appoint or more in his own, you know, he thinks they are
competent. I don't know party for no his own, you know, I don't know party for no because for instance, encrophobia or honoma, omo ye known faces a party for na nkase nim se sa encropho we dia omo ye adwuma. A very good example is yourself. So who teach you hey see a more appointment party for do bebre na no appointment no betimi aso wo mo so ambo no enya a very good positioning it is a wo ye bo wudi nobody will have a problem but in a situation you nim se titi abre na ye be matiti appointment ye hwe anim na ye be titi sulia I'm just mentioning your name for an example na yakofo obi a onye known face of the party and the party people are saying say sa niema ya mu ye nyina e happen here opuni mo time crofo so mkotena cocoa board for over 3 hours opuni mie ni office mom you've heard some of these things enti no say second term yi sa na mo san ye ne dia then it means that there will be a problem for the party in the future and then crofo crack can no newspapers here report say to an extent that as you don't get akra the list kwa near dia to baby I mean what is really happening in the party.
So baby enjoy. Na I was say nipa there. Unim say why ejuma. Who expect say appointment member. Emaye. Omunwie.
Ye check over.
Omunwie.
Angotiti. Cha ni ye check ko.
Omunwie.
Papa ye wo mi nyina na ye de madana.
We sure say papa na sa.
Baby ankwa de wa de
ya before ye nim wo nye campaign brother.
I say appointment yes as appointment as ya check wo dem.
O starting with Abbas Nuruddin Ejuji Tamakulu nipa be 5 bi.
Ye known faces.
Na no no nipa be 10 na ma count obi anim wo.
Me no faces ni bibeba
party for the kasa why we are we medim say asema make
party for the bibeba me sure say nipa dey referee or ho
enti no china moye neck na
neck dey maintain
neck dey moye neck
because of that
crucial one yes
okay me maintain no but if it is so they are ebia
and the president himself will be at the neck.
They want to call some things to order. So in politics, in America, no. Yeah, go campaign na. Obi awo nipa o promise to say munye juma ha ye ba be ma o say. Inti si ye wie na enko saa na ohwe de ekọ na to ne kwan so a wo so ultimate friend ka se o masa ye no kan say moy ni say the eduru ye hu say emma nti ye ben dey maybe it is good to call that meeting and must say be baso ochina no menim but say baso saa no so a ebitimi ama na aba ne ho so say o ampa bia na meka ye nti ma memfa we emma mo nti o de entwen kakra me feel say de wo ho no ne aka no
etiti
microphone
edos titi abetia na ne cha na egrofo abetia na ne cha no ma me ka se bi na rebo yanko titi wa ha wono na de bia de ne ye mani bia nim say at least
ye na ye se be ka flow bi kra ka se onko ne ho yes
na ye be si na titi de ma ya ye nyende
ti adukoti ameka sa ne se Kwame anko titi wa blue fought ti akma make you enye radio so nko
aso
you have fought 8 years one kasa ti wan you are born you are NDC person Kwame de bia ye kasa asem say adwene enye obi di sika shedam udu sika shedam na di pia bonten no
obi anya campaign
ka be da wili I don't want to listen to that and the sika no de boy u sika no de koto aba no enye sika de koto aba no you obi a be shot somebody
yes.
That's true. Look at people are protecting the ballot box.
Exactly.
They are also part of the it. Ya organize will be watina kabushi from Bagatanga. But the central part of the country or Corrali. He's part of the campaign team. Kwame. And Mamunya Sadia no more yano. Sha. It will be blast starlet camp. Because my chankititi. On my man of so blast starlet on my camp. Ena abrate bi efenu ofosu apia tiko no bobo as good
that's the thing
omo blast talent camp ho ni a drop ayi Joe Louis o chesi ade tie ni a drop Esmelado afa ade tie ni a drop Steven Odro coach Afrano e wa no apake no mana o start so and coach Afrano say now of course now make kwa hede I drop Esmelado I drop Steven Odro. I drop Joe Louis. I'm going to then I drop him because they are better than me. Someone for some pop baby or son or there are some people ankititi. And some communal positioner. I'm crying be Jamaican watch as a seven.
Yes.
Now Yanni I work from. Anybody here you have to fight. Obiet me no focus.
They say no.
People have started fighting.
As at Nra, I had an intel say they say regional chairman ne kra na lead campaign in the respective.
They be sidelined.
Omo ba presidency ye momo betena ho for so many hours.
Me
Jubilee House. Omo ba kra the list e dey aba say me region ni mu enkrofo ebo a me ma me ye adwuma ni Mr. President. Chief of Staff, mon consider these people on my list. You be my regional chairman na betena ho sa obu ho kra wo president kra no asan akọ. Yes.
Yeah, so me dey still I make say adjobro. Me sure say you be check amana.
Ye bodro said you be abo be hwehwe mo ne mani.
True.
Yes, but mo anya ne sa dia award go na ni abre o 2028.
Yeah ba.
Obesa aba power.
Say obi abe na juma but say dem o kan sa ankrofo aye juma. And people need to be rewarded. Normal.
Sa abantie ya owo oboase ya onu sojani ikoye.
Yes.
Just imagine risking his life.
Omode no kwachi
what next?
What next?
And MC.
And
MC the omo from and Kessben.
Oboase.
Oboase ni no man the Kessben.
Awal pa.
Omo man here.
Okoku Aketitu abre.
Ejuma de ayebi.
Ejuma wa ye bi pa.
Ayebi campaign.
Me hu akotiti nya ne o. CTV Accra FM besi ha nyina.
Me dem ba Accra nyina ma debate ni sa for 8 years. And
I'm sure say enche bo betimidi. I'm sure.
Amen.
Na nya won ko so
ne obi atie ha nti eja ombeti akase one power. So say Bible no mu kra na edu baby na ye hwe obi ye hu no obi na ekopie baby no boni do say akwa we di nka e wo say owo han nti mwaka ombeti Kessben there so
I'm going forward. Party executives.
Yes.
Going forward. say all the political parties, if they can amend their constitution, now come on function me say, oh your party executive, next all be position, a first show to me says a power bar, you still have to stay in the office and work. Kwame, I bet me abuau.
Now where the air, and run a me catch you be say appointment in Kenya simple, nothing pong. Or original chairman in all the 16 regions, right? Original chairman in them Crawford, or your Moye Juma, on the campaign coordinators from the zones to be and to say appointment 10 nowadays my region be give it to the regional executive.
What's that, Dr. Kwame Appiah? Yes, constituency be Emra. Yes.
What you say? Mo ko form Crawford dey Emra. The Ebeka no afi me president no me ankasa nso me Crawford e boa me at the national level. I mean it makes the whole thing simple.
You see, previously that has been the norm.
But they say they are
that has been the norm. I mean,
regional chairman na subject list
previously nonka there's an appointments committee here. Regional executives submitted lists at the back. I consider among no and some ya competence.
And pass on the message by.
At times so at times so odi nipa ba ko ba now so post we na permanent. Now the person doesn't qualify now. They will come back to you and so Charlie. Nipa we out the buy the qualifications and the competence any my father don't call him monanka pay obi for besha man I do way. All those things were considerations they cost in the past. But this time I say there's some kind of a cover up group being no more year appointment and yet open to say first no and internet agitations way sorry be sure say young Crawford start can maybe they will open up and then do what has been the norm in the party.
But remember, so I will bet you for 10 minutes now. Mamintio on President Mahamad's first 1 month in office. In fact, I was going through the 120 days promise. A lot of them looks to be fulfilled. I mean, one of
on the face of it, yes.
Yes, on the face of it. Okay, so Mamimo Bobiso na yen to asuning kobono in free. So the first point, number one, nominate within first 14 days the complete list of cabinet ministers for parliamentary approval. Second, constitute the leanest and most efficient government. And only the government in and settled way, so we cannot say. 3, establish a robust code of conduct and standards for all government officials. And also, hold a national economic dialogue until there is a committee set up in place to see to it's a national economic dialogue in the Bebaso. Now, 5th, within first 190 days in office, scrap the following draconian taxes to alleviate hardships and ease the high cost of living. Until e-levy, COVID-19 levy, 10% levy on bet winnings, and then emissions levy, and also Maya. But I don't know, see within 90 days. Obey. Now, within the same 90 days in office, review taxes and levies on vehicles and equipment imported into the country for industrial and agricultural purposes. 7, commence drafting needed legal amendment and prepare for the implementation of the 24-hour economic policy under the office of the president. And also, I'm told there's an appointment made for that secretariat. Okay. Establish an accelerated exports development council. And also, convene a national consultative conference on education. And also, a certain committee or more making preparations for that. Implement the no academic fee policy for all first-year students in public tertiary institutions, universities, colleges of education, and nursing training institutions. And these are a few of them. I mean, Obo Bokosua, Bebrenano, Ewo Hodomo, Mamintio, na yeto komodieniso.
Speaker me dase, Mami Sanchia for na near for na menkasa me dase pa for this opportunity. Enra, me nya kwan ekenkan Musa Dankwa, Global Info Analytics ne post now cancer or yeah no was say or the enamiansa na year or the 3 days and a year 3 days no or free be our phone so and a be so or a one-on-one interview na nipa makumako 952 and I want more edin kita home now out of the 952 no more kasa nyina no 84% essay or minor ekoye na omo eji President Mahama di se obetimi aye adwuma no. I think say I had wished say anka obetwen after 60 days.
Okay.
Because we share post now where na that time we post no na President Mahama enya 1 month.
Edra was 1 month.
Exactly. Na onya 1 month nti na I was wishing say anka 2 months. Na ye the ISA full assessment and all say by then now start I will take some decisions.
Yeah.
And until na ama the walking kind na kaso we utimi we wentimi anye we nso guso we nso otimi ne na keka ho. Intene o ka say wentimi anya you're not being fair. Because or can say within 120 days and obey no mama makumi no said. And until mana me feel say obetimi atono boase na nkawaye but say the Musa dankwa the obeka bia no or say jutu Musa esan say the oka in the past bia bam and definitely was aka bibisa na was say jutu but we say in any survey like this no it dependent questions are ubisa nipa no question na questionnaire in the betchere sometimes a the answers in the kika be sure say anka obisa question about security. I mean, this is President Mahama ebitimi enya up to even 40%. Esan say omo winning elections we throughout the period from 7th December ekopim tama ye handi over money nyina no na violence erupted everywhere to the extent na Ghana for one say o contest elections what winning na didn't know say normal. What winning elections and the ABA will lose no, and the bit of say no, man, I can say, oh, no, the both in penning for. But what winning elections? Na what could boo a warehouse, I know. Na was said, Duane. No, I call not more office, no bueni, no, said Duane. I also east. Now, be what the obetima saw TV, no, saw TV, the obetima saw computer, no, saw computer, normally I call. So, and no, a ban security before handing over. Na a year west. What we expected from him at that time, Nisan ko Kasamua, akabiti abua. On the 7th, you handy over Kasam. Echiri muse violence and shada any kwan bia was. Let him say bibia to din, bibia etimiaye. Then, or starting the ministerial appointment to pay Nikrum, our MP for 12 years. Bolly Bamboy the first place or Mokoshe ties. Ewo ne papa fie nim so mo hihye ties adenti na wanfa interior minister ama o mo MP because o can say obema ni MP no ministerial appointment a interior minister efiri ho eba we ne ba eko ho NDC supporters can say e wo say ye fa nipa no na keka so say ampa say Musa Dankwa ye sa ni hwehwe mo no obisa o mo about security a be a share anka on say President Mahama security there he's almost going to fail because obi ani o ya cheno so omo ye anwamu nsam nyina no obi ani ho a ya cheno. That is one. Two is that appointments I can say obey no and no correct say or can say within 14 days obey the cabinet ampa on the 14th day say me control Facebook say 14 days so within 2 hours enemy who say
the final
list number and then no otimi born home again we can say obey 60 ministers up to now yentimi nkyere say wafofile sa ayena na so onfofile esanse say all realigning ministries no or we can say obey ministries makoma 23 we 23 no announce ministers one announce 26 3 ministers are omo ebe adwuma under his office omo ni sa ministerial no enti eno no ene say ye the 16 na ya aka 18 eno so mai enti enim say 18 no exactly 18 ne beba ana say emma ebe ne sen ne keka ho ebe broso ana say embroso enti obi etu mirika koka say wafufile ne 60 ministers nse ne edugita makulika ena enye no krese wafufile because the ministers no complement no MI why 45 meboa inti aka 18 boy 40 something meboa aka 18 45 so ye train
including regional ministers
so ye train so we know so final list no ebe mate say you submit ama parliament inti ye train say omo be announce no ma start sa no inti for ministers ni de onye ministers now or ban. A lot of them were technocrats. If you cry technocrats, so at the Ache. So say share on the face value. Now share nipa ya former as ministers now. Energy. Why energy Jumanache to the extent now a deputy minister. Health. Even though I can't do any background on health. Omuyi lecture Edeneba as a spokesperson on health. No? He was doing a lot of agitations in the Kekahon, even though Kekahon no be brea. What you say because I want your health person or can say COVID-19 ban or can say nipa bewa the dabontin. These are things I can say your porous nature of your health in the Kekahon. But fortunately we were able to contain it in the Kekahon. But at least he has been talking for more than 4 years as a spokesperson on health and a health minister. Again, young people should be breaba. Me share, you know. We original ministers now, the average age around 60 something years. But obi a one yini chen obi a Dr. Rashid Pelpo as on the age no ekosoro. We was 50, 40, 30 something crying na enya ministerial appointment. I think say yeah. The name sa CEOs na keka hono and agitations no started because you be an bit my minister. Say na titi kato no kano. But appointments go beyond the ministers. Yes. CEOs ni omo amoka ho no omo na do so pa. And CEOs ni yankrophone be resign because enra and me say Marcelo Kra resign. Into that position is up for grabs. Into Marcelo so resign enra e bebre resign and I foresee almost all of them.
Na microphone one man resign and come back so at na ho.
Yeah, untimi nyina di because there is a ruling na ejidita makule di court as nipa no 2 years and 3 years nipa no betimi atna se kopim se obey because we public services amayaye. Yam building an institution ebetimi amase obi winning elections and nipa no ye adwuma pakra na we yi na free ho. Look at education ministry. You and I in him say education ministry under addiction. It's one of the best ministries ayenya. Ono they are a political appointee into only bit me exit. But bureaucracy na e wo hono. E wo say e wo hono moboa Haruna na otimi na juma. I expect to say ebani ministry ebani departments agencies ye benya bibisa enu ntina ama ejudita makole de case no call to say nipa no ho na oye adwuma na o build the institution na owo tenure ya man kwan na on finish ni tenure say na ba bitima boa. But I expect to say enkrofo no almost to be a resign. That's what I expect. Say momododo na ebitimi a resign. There will be a lot of positions enkrofo epe the obre enedie. I believe that there was a omohwe na omoye back wa o kan say obeye o kan say obeti committees omo ebehwe education ombehwe national dialogue that is economic dialogue and in a keka sa committees no de aba na so ade ba kwa e wo mu say o the education committee aba omo ehihye da ombeba be hia wo me ene Ghana for dudu na okotena ba ebe ko kan say free you know there sa teachers allowance ni there you feel say ebekode you are prejudicing the BC ewo ho eno na ebama obi atena ba ebe aka say unim the outcome of what you want them to do what sra omo de omo pese omo yekuku omo enti o pese omo validate the o ye ne keka so comment no prejudicial. I think leave it na Ghana for eba no omo feel say yento asuntua na say yinjaya na yajai. In all the America said the personalities in his early days say obetimi ajaje say nipano wayade wanyade ni nekeka ho omako true ministers no the only problem we have nipa mienu yam approve omo majority and omo dey approve omo start way friends Sam George any Okujeto Ablakwa say if you na our team no airport health no or rent it for the last 8 years.
Yes, that's no bizarre no mamo answer.
When Timmy and for document back kramba, Sam George can say 2 years ago, ekotena baby ko can say ekotena delay show, can say niyeri or a entomologist. Nanso say onye dwuma otifia wo hwe nkwala. 2 years on, why you super rich to the extent that no na etuano ka etuano ni school fees mano. Emano
ko gazo no tuano school fees, so he will clarify that. O say ono ne hwe no. Bankaso no tuano.
Ono hwe na ono ende. Obi hwe wo de.
Ebi oye do.
Oba na wonye hwe 2 years ago.
Na bia wa.
And then why you rich to the extent that na show.
Ebi a wo be otimi tofu o ma, but it doesn't mean so discussion.
So osi wonye dwuma. Osi wonye dwuma otifie teteba just 2 years ago. Osi otifie tetema wonye dwuma bia. One or regular income 15,000 na etua okana otibi tua o driver kan. Say sikano watimi akọ London every biana oko 10 days eko spend e wo hoko school academic certificates I can fabra ni nyina wan famba documents o mo kan say on be submit nyina o mantimi an submit amba okuje to black kwase ono edan no rent na o rent no ne katua e na o kan say the regular income free parliament and eba fa tenancy agreement ba unhu baby a tenancy agreement no fa we first say e kwan be na ofa so tua documents a ka so de baba bi wo enfamba enu nti na ma enra e kan say nipa ono aye ne hu champion ata ejina baby ka say we ye krofo we ye ora enu nti na ma usese no ora ne ye hu the integrate dom level obi bia obi bibi ogana ha bia dom level will have an issue na ote ho ena ni penny no because kujo to black a penny wo ho woni Martin Kpebu up to now omuntimi nka ho asem say kwan be na omofa so etua ne rent ne kwan be na ofa so tua ne rent kwan be na ofa so anya ska bebre obi aka to the extent that Adenta Kumi etna Metro TV Good Evening Ghana eko kan say ne dan na otim ne $3 million ene dia enra Paul Adomo chire aka say e dan ne kujo to black kwa dia or who evidence I just send it there. Yes, was it? But Metaha, no catch me say a dime be isi baby na media mitimi court. I say doing get a court enyeska. Our cancer was binti or the daily guide court. A dime be siduasi of masse. Emma daily guide Morgan Usuko story no. I can say a dine a say doing get dia. He went to court and had judgment. Our cancer says Kanokrano honor because Yabinti ebaye no. So I believe that say kuje to a black and pass a 9 warrant here. Ghana for have the right to see because Obi Krade just a bisia.
Now see for
Emma National Cathedral. She say no train aboso. Omu yejuma. Ena omu hia skadia ya de agently ena odi ni botom sika ma ya wan jinsi hu wanye Reverend Kusibuate wan jinsi hu anje hu bibia na so kujo ta black wa say we corrupt Emma Shraj ebe clear ne kan say wanye hum so bia
okay
it is any pano ene untimi nkyere be bia onya skasa si sa dan no.
But I say, well, Mohammed, 18 after 9. My brand could teach you now in tea or so for 10 minutes. I got it, my brand.
On the 100 days, no?
Yes.
Said the maker earlier, no 100 days, no near my do why I can say,
yes, 120 days.
120 days, no, na Global Info Analytics report, Amaye who say Ghana phone na eta John Mahama echi. Me de say a while agiatum say niamani bebre ekoso and what can we say
enye bebre o 26 so say I mention be 4 pe
or can we I don't know how the caveat at share today can say I don't know how the caveat at share it today but 120 days is not far away intimidate say whatever we have said say no. My America can tell you local. We did it like 2 months in office or 2.5. No, we should be able to come up to say Nyamani Bebre atona kwem.
Okay.
For instance, they say education day about educational way no so and also dana kwem 8-member committee on way so and also dana kwem. Me feel say ministers in the don't know kano aka 15 was aka 18 ye. Or what I know is that there are a lot of ministries the president I say omunya deputies inti me sure say they will fall in line say a better so amanaye 60 the pepe. Going forward Ghana for the 2 million shares inti there was a Ghana for G to be pa no I was see it me even beyond the actual say 100 days no ye no.
Okay.
Because CUs now yeah appoint your mono any ministers now appoint your mono. It's not just about the 120 days now yeah the mobile office no. there is more to it. Also, Greater Accra Regional Minister Osi Akwemupo Enura say no echi. Ono so start you say obe light up Accra.
I was very happy to hear that.
Yes, my only caution I me woman and say Greater Accra all the lights na essence say hona eye adwuma eden ochina. The next time we won't say obiso so afropone eye lights na efiso. And the word of caution, there should be security to monitor the lights that are hanged now. And just had there, Accra will be lit up in just 2-3 weeks time. No, I bet say drum. And yes, I'm in America. Yehubida on the your friend is saying, "Sir, N1 Kwan Yusua."
Yeah,
the lights were all up. The next time we saw a car, ono sukita sa back at 3B, mounted. We thought almost maintenance. Sir, Akronfo almost to 2 lights. So Ubisa who say, are these really citizens of this country? They say, oh yeah, no, but yeah, no. I was say security so basso.
Okay.
Now it's me monitor to keep Accra lights on. Motorway is so bad.
It's so bad. Anyone they say it's so bad.
Yeah, bad. Into me, I made they say a hono, a coso. Other bits also a problem power Greater Accra is sanitation. I made the so oboboso.
I saw the national sanitation no air
but my problem is Friday no the share you know. Friday is a working day. Meaning say or person engage workers who more jumemo and say because a working day into no person engage workers who might be at work. But like a friend is saying Julius Debra time the next Saturday.
Yes.
Saturday day and yeah excuse said say and they say into private companies might not get involved, you understand, because it's private, but public institutions there they might be obliged to join. Until me just worried about Friday, you know, but hey, ya can also I can you know, maybe they might sit and look at it. So Friday now you know the Saturday na beboa. Beboa in na sanitation day. But like I'm saying, you know, sanitation shouldn't be an issue. I was said a bind na a put pressure. Your surroundings are bad, and you still live in it, and you are expecting government to come and clean it for you. Me way who feel him. Inti I was say a year culture, a year practice, a bibia, a normal my say who feel him. I was say clean. Me can say was it Henry Cotton area clean your frontage by.
Yeah,
you know it started well, but anche and a guye. Julius Debra the end day. Yes, it's not buying no and na a consume. Me hope say lendo kulu air started we no obetimi hold flag na up amma momentum no akonenim akoso krom ayefi nti it is incumbent on her as the regional minister to make sure say Greater Accra aye clean. Unfortunately no MMDC is no anchor office.
Yeah.
Nti eno so be a challenge amaye because they play a very key role in their jurisdictions, in their municipals and districts, because omo to mobilize ema yesesa in run see area, but see no money hono. Me sure say coordinating directors in na ombe say jumano until they will take office. Looking at the way forward for NDC no, me sure say whatever they have promised or we have promised say no, we'll do our best to do it.
Okay.
First in the opposition, to see idea. It's not about defending the Obiaka. Me who post be a can say to say the awale can say Haruna preempted the ABC in the education side. No,
yeah,
I've seen another post say he didn't say that. There's a disclaimer say one kasa. You know, media there are times they be at the all kind and now misinterpreted don't know what kind there or no few said
video okay say something like teacher training should go away so that we have an enhanced already even the daily graphic report on Ukraine. He is not happy with the caption said to go no. Teacher training allowance must go. My really sad disclaimer no. But what's your story now? The okay no would transcribe it. Exactly.
Because Daily Graphic has retreated, said they stand by their report.
Exactly, because the okay video will be our
for me, some time ago, no, I was against teacher training allowance.
Okay.
And if it goes, no, if you look at the cost benefit on both sides, no, teacher training is to be soon. Say, oh, MY. But yeah, go school, maybe what tech. Those times, no, I'm talking about we call tech. I think 1990. Number tech. I want listen. Number of first
1990 primary school.
1990 number of first year University of Science and Technology, and that and then University of Science and Technology. That time ye student loans. That time the whole year was 90 cedis. Each semester was 45 cedis for the whole semester. But no, and they survive 3 years now. You could do what tech no.
Okay.
Inti me feel say see I upgrade the omunyina universities now more bana. I think say it falls in line. I mean who but
okay. People
have their left and right about it. Say oh free money. I hear mom 290 cedis, they 140 cedis be and 400 cedis be. That's the fight. But why should I fight over 400 cedis if I can get 5,000 or 7,000 as my loan? That's what I don't get it. No, why should I fight for 400 cedis a month when I can get 5,000 or 7,000? What's it? Anyway, it's another conversation.
It's another conversation to be had. But that's it. But remember an African point. The government point. I mean, too. Not Yanko.
Oh yes, Kwame Ketuabi. Lawyer Edwardji. Tamaklo. Yes. Kwame. President Mahama. Obering election, he made us to understand. Say, yeah, Baba be fix this country, which is reset the country. You get it.
Kessben.
Aya sometimes a biba. Na say yeah, Emma yen church no mamu too much. The more na ye church no mamu na it looks like we are setting a bad precedent. Yema bad precedent. Aba be say so on the beach. You be kwa de no break technicalities ne legalities bi e wa de ni mu a. Afe na aba be say ade na be normal. So you see sa issue ya na obisa no efa Council of State issue.
Yeah.
And President President Mahama issue. The minority say President Mahama who can say or make appointment be say consult the Council of State. Kwame, it is clear. Ura Martin Amidu, at the President Kofo Echo Court, Supreme Court. Now this is what happened. Mami Ridi Kakrancho, Martin Amidu versus the Attorney General President Kofo. Say Article 58 or certain from Article 58. Was it the executive authority of President shall vest in the President and shall be exercised in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution. You understand? Just a 2 me now. Oko executives now. Ye di 2 me kese di ama penny. No mom ama penny betimi exercise sa 2 me no based on the provisions of the 1992 Constitution. That is what the Article 58 in the ECA. Eti oka say exercised in the accordance with the provisions of the Constitution now. Exercise media. Then it tells you say Article 91 of the Constitution say the Council of State shall consider and advise the President or any other authority in respect of any appointment which is required by this Constitution or any other law to be made in accordance with the advice or of in consultation with the Council of State. You get Kwame clear and shut.
Kessben.
So Ramatiamidu took President Kofo, said we are appointing the Patribi, the Chief of Staff Jacob Chebelamte, Madame Elizabeth Ohene, and the one security couple, presidency. That's a 2001. Without consulting the Council of State member. Now the country America reset this country. They say Kwame. Ora Martin Abidu was the running mate to Atta Mills at that time 2000 after the 2000 election and you run a sabem. So in 1996 1992 and in 1996 NDC win the election when they were making appointment in 93 and 1997 they went by this constitution and this provision. Jamaican what I say it is a someone go by this and can run at Nabidu our car by no and one can't check President Kufuor say he has heard. So it is a President Kufuor na boom so and yet did him out to this a year. We need to reset this country and go back to where now appointment to be according to the article 91 say SSA who make sure say the Council of State are aware and you consult them.
Yes, but to cheer
we know we know about consultation. The kind is the president has the right to appoint him. But news reporter ebaya e say wo ha wo ye dwuma and I can say in the case of Bank of Ghana you cannot start work until Council of State approves you. There should be a prior approval of the Council of State and sign start juma. The president can appoint you. That is the government of the issuer. Afenyoma Kings de Koy.
I know what something yake.
And I make her say, no. The amma or Kasani say, because of the reportage I buy, I say, don't say, I'm more astati juma. There is a report so was started juma. I was share in Penifoni or Muni or Moye. And I said, there be Council of State in Niho. That say you can appoint, you have to appoint, send the person to Council of State for Council of State to scrutinize omuma approval and send the Nipana start juma. Appointment enforce be any. But a juma na washa say na can say.
Now is it the case that was started juma?
Yes, because
I will assume you
said media reporting because if website or say he is there was started oye meetings with Bank of Ghana officials no and which was started a juma no because say if I were juma no and ko be ko na akohia penny for
Council of State
and no can say Council of State elections
no, but in transition in the crowd for instance I mean transition ne course no there were certain people almost selected or more.
That's transition. I don't know. You're guided by law. Transition. Say no, you're guided by law. But when it is, Obetimiako Council of State now Obia track or say you are unfit.
Yes,
to be there.
Yeah, it's just
like a Juana was started Juana
because the Bank of Ghana, the governor now be a presser. So exactly. Meeting the press. I will not press so that was the day before yesterday.
Exactly.
I watched him on TV. So it tells you clear that he has started work.
Because what China been say, Council of State, no more compelling reasons.
Johnson in the press and Endra.
And then it is.
Yes.
On one case,
yes, not anymore.
So it tells you, Kwame, was started Juma. So if you want to reset this country, Kwame, let us go by the law.
Yes.
Kwame the Kwakramuno. Debi Ameka say, we share the British Constitution. The Britain for constitution now. They are made us to understand say Britain for no constitution. Yes, the president.
Yes.
And they are constitution. But you see, they have a whole book. It is guiding the whole British Empire, which is consists of Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, and Wales. And they have the mother constitution there. You understand? And this constitution, I'm told say they have challenged about 2/3 of the articles in the president woman about the weave the country. It has been challenged 2/3. When we take the Indian constitution, they have challenged every article in the Indian constitution, including the back cover of the constitution. So, constitutional reviewer, I don't have any problem. President Mahama promised, say, we have to do a constitutional review. But Kwame, the constitutional review, no, before we can touch it, we should be able to know as a Ghanaians what we want. Jamaican what matters.
So almost say almost say committee no say the committee no will go round because Professor Mills Diana Amabontina. Some of the year say there are some Libya and for your consultation on the beach by a cachet. And spent a lot. Yes. So before you go out and consult people, no, you understand? We should be able to know, say,
a dear partner Ghana ye pay your constitution.
Yeah.
We should be able to know say, do we still have to go ahead and amend the constitution first? And sana you heard the majority ni say young amend the constitution. And sana ya sakoya that consultation.
You know we are doing because we say your constitution say and your 1992 constitution na way you. There are several amendments ma ene enye the kuta 1992 na away. And no na make us say even the recent one edujita makuluko ya no call for interpretation of a certain article in the constitution e chere say obi call through public service we are na you appointing as chief executive the person will have to continue his tenure and sana what me yi na firi ho aban egu a ontimi nye it is hard to say ho e say no supreme court di aba it ayemra say o ka say Britain Ghana hakra ni deliberately yasesa emra ni bebre so anka yebetime hu say efahin na yewo emfumso a yewo say and trench clause in
I think that is the work of the committee. Open terms of reference. The committee is supposed to go around the country, organize forums. People should express their views and thoughts on how certain points.
I don't make us say before you do that, I didn't say Obi bia obeba bia say a constitution in your papa. Efahin in your papa.
But you are aware. People have spoken against Article 71.
Exactly. So Article 71.
So it is there. Those are some of the provisions. People have said, no independent constitutional body, sir. The president should not be doing the appointment.
That's
so EC, police, IGP, Chief of Defense Staff.
So these are areas.
These are areas, and some of them are entrenched positions.
Yes.
Until I don't know, you have to go through referendum there. But typically, you have people expressing concerns about some of the
president. Every power.
But what we are saying is,
people have also proposed yemfa a second chamber. I don't know, non-partisan. So all
and Nana Mebodi na kasam kaka. Na Abubakar. I say young good council of states. Representatives from the paramount chiefs who be representing they have the representatives of parliament.
Even in Nigeria, your friend said the second chamber, no, and even in India, everywhere. Your friend saying regional representation, equal representation, state representation, equal representation. Into when we say, I say, ubia our representation, also. Into every state, there will be a regional balance. Ubia a bit me. But you see, the Council of State, one of the best. Your friend saying systems are here because you see, you see, they are not there. Oh, but some make us out of Council of State. If you're saying a constitution, you're thrown about Council of State. Okay, one of the best. Because you see, every region has a rep. You're electing non-partisan. You're electing because or you're NDC and answer or NPP. To the extent that you tested the polls just 4 years ago. Elected E.T. Mensah for Greater Accra.
Yes.
E.T. Mensah, a non-NDC person, but your power no. E.T. Mensah won as member of the Council of State. Who we are? Makumako 16. Who we are? Na aban appointed Makumako be in Siabiaka home any chairman. This is where I believe that yebetimi aye we na assembly members no ato aba the Council of State aba. No mun kwa ye juma no. Na amongst them no mayi omo leader preko no ma elect omo leader amongst them na etimi aye na nka interference na aba form kakra media that's what I think.
My rankete so na yan wrap here about this and that fancy I get your concerns about this Council of State
e ba ko pena na make na say constitution no the review no Kwame Osha elsewhere before you beka say ye touch ye be constitutional review no as I say on my jitum tie you there should be something like referendum ti say who here see attach your constitution no and second a committee should be set up to go it doesn't apply that the yes or no now you can once as a referendum and I'm saying that
clauses within the
constitution. Listen to me and you nipa few be near Ghanaians and you be an a person review constitution that is why it is done. India, that is what they have done.
So your reference,
you have to consult
the committee shouldn't have been set up. There was a referendum to ask that question
before you touch the constitution, because the president
India is a federal state.
Can I
we're doing education for God's sake.
Why do Mame Kasa? Read, let's have me read. Read that jurisdiction. And I'm saying that
because when you're doing comparison, you don't compare us with India. India is a federal state. Ghana is a unitary state.
Haven't you done a comparison, set a precedent to back your fight before? And I'm saying
that when you're doing comparison,
the reason why I make us say, and I said, Faso do whole Ghana. How many people want us to review the constitution? We should be able to know the number first. Ansana be a transfer, I say. Okay,
generally you cannot get everybody's buy-in.
But there's a way out. Not because the press are saying that. I'm not saying that
coming from the press. It's coming from reasonable Ghanaians.
I'm not doing this. I'm not in support of review the constitution. But what I'm saying is, how do you determine that the majority of Ghanaians want the constitution to be tampered? How do you determine that?
That is where you end your story.
Yes.
That means you are saying.
How do you determine that? Is it because
here a voting party in a better say majority of Ghanaians want
accept? Yeah, and that's a survey. That is what I'm saying. Okay. Not even the voting.
But
it's a survey.
I think I won't cut you short. I think global info analytics yes I did some time ago.
That's fine.
I actually say majority of Ghanaians.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
We are not saying the whole.
But by the government,
it's not the whole constitution. There are places and sections that you say it must remain the same, and there are some sections that you feel say from 92 to now, we have metamorphosed, and some of the things must change. And let's say you start saying now in our parliament, and then by the stroke of a pen of Mr. A or Mr. B, they can increase the numbers. It doesn't help. So some of these things must be looked at, and let's put a cap. I agree with you. There's a report already like that. There's a report that Ghanaians want not the whole constitution thrown away, but
certain portions
must be amended. And I'm sure that will be the job of this committee to look at it. Now, I can first say, and now one can say, certain sections have already been amended.
Yes,
so it is up to them to put those documents together, and then it will come into the document to be now what we will call the 1992 constitution.
1992, but as amended.
What I say, it will change. I feel say it is the way to go. They took advantage of the blank check. It's a blank check.
Appointment
to the Supreme Court.
There's no cap on it.
What I say, those things.
Obi retire when they will say, and Obi retire, former president.
You don't
President Mahama.
I'm not saying Obi retire. There's no cap.
On the ceiling.
On the ceiling, say a number when yefa.
That was Supreme Court.
So you can constantly appoint. Man, I mean, just by the way though. So Nyama work constitution my president is a blank check no. I was see it be in film.
Near specific.
Yes, near specific. Near reduces some of the powers. Now, if you have your own way, no bit me as into me, I'm for it.
Okay.
Yes, send your money be brain. Yeah, then you start to say, yeah, Professor Mills time you start here. So there's a document already in place. Building on it.
Okay.
And up to today, me sure say once they do all those things now, a referendum will take its place, and then we'll say yes or no, and then it will go. And I'm sure so maybe we the document better out no. Majority of Ghanaians will be happy say these things must be changed and
Very well.
must go.
May I say, I'm saying, I'm now Muhammad. I say of the New Patriotic Party. Now, Uncle Titi Katino. I say, Nana from Ponziga. Thank you very much. Yeah, the panel discussion. No, EDC here. Now, my main court. Now, many of our was in any commo in free about Tampa Prostate Center for Asoya Emra. Yeah, ba. You better also na ya for course no over Maakye no pay
hospital do e be ma onu ye tamsunotin hydrochloride say do no relax muscles na wo bladder ni positive no say the be a oju so be twa so fine nti do no say ko na say do no mo na ye o so mo ato mo nya sa na tie wo ato de say oju so bia oju so pi say de na sate ye na ye no na mom project na ko fast aya de ne bae no da so ye den sekira kesia ne se eye nti egu so e kese no na je say complication na den e ko nanim na sa project na e kese no ho aduro na memewo ya me ma dom se de weduro no de kan unu meduro no e be shrink project na e kese no e ma na normalize amasa adwo so a odwo so ne hu susu aso yan den e jai na ma me ye outstanding e wo project aya hwem because and when I was to Mumiano, a managing so and shrink post-it. In this, do not have Maakye or my Baba Jada says, O man, do different brave, better no. It's the tea. O Mutimi Kaba, no moment draw, Babana, Behena, Yanaden, a co. Inti, and no mamma can say, they will be so opposite to do champion or bois. Into cemetery couple to once a month. That's a champion opposite I him. They be America say, some means of health, Belgium Madrid Tuma, yan should be a catheter or Mamma had that. Because I know a while, with the Don Manua, a best single post to know, I'm a nation, I normal, nothing in Panwatono. And Papa Bamin, or Bamin August. Or buy if you took in a buyer. And then some of friends say, if I bet do one do navy now or ba, I bet my machine and I'm so under umbra. And or buy no. Fade or buy me, Adam Shan record, fade or buy no. Me text and post it in here 288 centimeter cube. Yes, Scania. That's the unit edition, a centimeter cube. Now 288. Or buy me text now about 206. Reduced by 82 centimeter cube, which is very remarkable. And I'm catching says a year ohuno. Sanka or the hospital beer on my surgery. Because Bunibaka was saying, because above we drew. And a hospital senior do a single post and manages them kind of some solution at the core at the moment and manage into me share them someone do some conconum then 206 in the crown a very big post on conum on san conum on we on brand testing or continue a bedu baby no a bed normalize it na fina a whole year day na free ho into sana and no name a drum, the boy man for Cecilia me away, and the mammy me demonstration come unique in the treatment of prostate. So, obitumen come on years for a native form, Cassio, Papa, we Missican, Yesican Tina, we Missican Ope, and our radio so and TV so Casa, and you sika some Americano. Messebra, Nabaji, I share my one Casa because we be no be ya send me hot. Dear me cousin go for say, so ultimate come when you're 90%. When what to 100%, 10% is why wedding, but to 9 then, Abba, Oba, Umberto. My man, quite a mistake in a Danubio.
Okay,
me no man,
no numbers on any location.
Yes, me no money 0553 800 678 0553 800 678. When you come as in Fanam away 0249 49 61 66 0249 49 61 66. And I went Western region and Fanam away 0246 04 34 58 0246 04 34 58. Mufa ofra wo we kuma sin first anomo sa anomo no am ofra e bo yam bo afri eho ena wonye wo ashaman my nya obi o hwe eho amame kakra 0245 42 85 88 0245
0245
42
42
85
85
88
88.
Me can say wo frɛ hɔ wo pɛ sɛ kɔkɔtɔ adu hɔ hwɛ sɛ wonya prostitute nya prostitute nkwa na ma nipa dwun so sɛ da meka no nya no kwan so na ma symptoms a meka ho asɛm ɛma ne ba bibi te sɛ infection betumi ama ɔdwun so pia na dwun sɛ da yɛ kan yɛ yi ɛfɛn sɛn diabetes betumi ama ɔdwun so pii weak bladder betumi ama ɔdwun so pii nti wo bɛkɔ a hwɛ sɛ yɛ testo a confirm sɛ wo prostitute and son why then akoto do me say I just me compromise the integrity of the medicine wo bia na wan koto when your positive na hawo na akoto be akoto be wi no so manu adu no ansam yare me ka say sometime ago ma me bi ni kun frɛ me say ni kun so pi na me do no koma no me do no ma no a be 1 week later ano ma me frɛ ebufo so na me kuna no adu ni sa junso na ojunso amsa onko sunu medu sa onko sunu medu sen e do no mi na no odwun so ana wo so onko sunu medu no nda ho dem busa ne se ne kunu o diabetes ana so o diabetes nam se so o diabetes ana ya dwun positive na manage so diabetes na manage so e ho na no buto ne yam a settle case no there nti se wo koto do na hwe se ya test o a confirm so positive na positive die do bia no betumi asane ya de chemedro no nti se obia pe was a condition on permit akwan wo ba on beto me wo fifi prat last stop e wo yenya no kwan so baby di fifi prat last wo ba me ho a udu ka so a ka se wo pe yenya no station wo ko station ho a bi se wo pe fifi down taxi we taxi na ka che driver so bu so abatampa wo si junction so abena nte be 3 minutes no ba me nchen wo ba on beto positive die ya che kan ayasa obi anchen me nti sana mitumi aka nende esem time nso
aka 2 minutes
yes me ka say oye prepare aka timiti my very good number 0244 I'm sorry 0538 no it's a mistake 0553 800 678
0553 800 678
and Kumasi 0249
49
61 66 0249 49 61 66 and Western region 0246 04 34 58 0249 0246 04 34 58 and Ashaman in the environs 0245 42 85 88 the American say positive dear they say Lena Mekan baby say African see ye nipa e positive yade treya na man kan ho enye complete
okay afa me da say anope
wo sa tibe no ma wo sa tibe no
course no pacho yemfa course no na anope yento aso enye adwuma ma me fa so da ne bi emma Chocho Industries na anope wo mo adaroma wo mo aboy. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Peter.
Yes, sir. Opinion pacho need is okasa free he.
Like I said, Elia obiade no me Vandam course so na mention. Me pese me contribute to that. Me ziga sema no work na o ka kire awa na no ntiase no. No, form for DDI case party na form for ni here. It is a penny per battery, the number of threats na baby. Number threats baby. Nama mo sa adam mo ko office na. The best favor mo na mo be. It is a o form no. Now ko ye meeting na. You be ba be kan no em na penny for no be to di aye adwuma. It is also o muntie advice na mo de mo no. Na mo nyate bi a party ni o ma anka se na yo mo de enti no. Se bi o ma nya opportunity ni di no. The o pe no mo de. But your president knows so. He ain't able to man. They said they're more can because me 100 days no. A new. If you're born by the woman, as on which I am. On which I have one Ghana man. They're missing to you.
That's for and to us 0550922929 05529119229. Hello, good morning. Oh, Debbie. 055092299 0552911 Hey, number. Na chocho da roba. But your one more the chocho bam no Edia ba chocho shower gel would drama. So hello, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Yes, sir. We didn't baby a casa free na bonitel. But your home free radio no na bonitel. Why? Go forward actually.
Yo, but me ka tell Kutubali.
Mami ntio.
Na me ka say Galana here election. Up to now, if you try kai, if you don't carry my.
Very well. Say Yabeka Biamamo 0550922929 0552911929. But your Oba no watch your home at the free radio ne ho. Sir Utieme now petroleum product no Ebiam Pacho e would drama so herbal shops, chemical shops, and a few more singing in Ado at petroleum product no Ebi. Hello, good morning, Opinion.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, sir. We didn't baby a casa free bonitel.
Me didn't the Ken, me casa free Belenque.
Ken Mamintio, Coasamso.
Mr. Speaker, appointment here, yeah, Papa John Dramani Mahama. Yeah, there, any problem. But the FSA said, more appointment, and I so most you deny it's been comfort now. And I selected and I'm on Yasa or Quanyano. Into yes, from and be a howdy, and I say, you hear Moabia. Upon my own saying. No one yet said to see a master. Ya busy a committee, a meeting, a phobia, or be on your ready son over Cassa. And only be in Reban.
Very well.
It's almost a moye.
Very well. Ken, Medase, Mechiabelim Pefuanina, thank you. 0550922929 0552911929. And pay ube to me any chocho Eddie and Komo and Timpacho Utiemia, chocho product, no chocho BPT, chocho shower gel, and a face skin toner, and shampoo, and a yet the hair food ninano ewo ho, and tea, pacho ko na only one more any and Komo for chocho 4 on 055. 1815388 0551815388 and after 0244727348 na oni chocho Dabi went to me and so lines in ending wire 055 0922929 0552911929 and no any numbers no just one last caller na yem fancy ma me fast that be my Eclipse collateral management and pay one more da romba pacho utie mi a Eclipse say or the japade en krata no ebe ye adwuma na watu osika e wo ma me fa we. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, open you dey baby akasa free.
Abu kokom ni kaza free kokom ni.
Abu ma min ti free kokom lemle bonitel.
Oh, me bonitel. Sika. Yo de ya parliamentary na wa do mo ya ni e show mu. O mo hwe no mo ka sa pa na Ghana fonji o mundi. Na ngan sam na o mo ya o parliament no. O mo da na se de kema amboa. So mo me amboa mo. Ya mo ka na.
Medase ebu medase mumfanche anope lines no enemu ayan wo pikia na afeti me a drop enye bo apayo adomdom ya ne na ochina ya ba we'll have enough time na monso motimi afre edia ba. Okay, we are boy room. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, open you in Kasa free here bonitel.
Pastor Kasa free Australia but from Isaac Pastor bisa say President Mahama, ministers now were 60, now you better you deputy sister can one.
That was so be 60 until you 45. The can or the member.
Number central region central region minister number your friend say.
Very well. Maybe the day the actual. Why?
I'm you.
Better say been to me for offer for BIB. Mami wish open ye and Odin birthday. Yeah, very big happy birthday. Na your friends. Mami wish Jonas Boache Ajima Appiah. A very big happy birthday, Jonas. It's your birthday this morning, and we wish you the best of your new age. Yami Enshroud now when you're happy birthday to you, little Jonas. God bless you so much. Say Joy is up next. Made for action. I don't yenya or china. The best about now anywhere dear. We need to Kwame Appiah Kubi on behalf of my team. Thank you so much for your time. Good morning. Enjoy the rest of your day.